Hello everyone and welcome to the day 15 video of the spoken English course on SucceedEng. Today we're going to look at vowel sounds. Now so far in this entire module we have covered grammar as well as vocabulary. And while vocabulary and grammar play a very important role in your spoken English skills, one particular skill which can never be underestimated is your pronunciation. Now, native speakers can perceive bad pronunciation as a lack of language competence. Speakers with strong accent can be hard to understand or even unpleasant to listen to. Social interaction can be significantly impeded by this. As such, a person is likely to face difficulties in getting through to native speakers. Now, we'll start our discussion by looking at the agenda of the day. So the agenda of the day is to learn about the different vowel sounds, to learn about how to enunciate the various vowel sounds, and practice the words containing the various vowel sounds. So first of all, what's a vowel sound? Now, a vowel sound is made when air flows out of your mouth and is not blocked or obstructed by any part of your mouth or throat. Now let me explain this. When you say something like ooh, you can see that the sound is coming out of your mouth without any restriction. It's just flowing out. There is no obstruction in your mouth. It's freely coming out. When you say ah, again there is no restriction. The sound is being released from your mouth without any obstruction. And same goes for aw. There are overall 44 sounds in the English language, 20 of which are vowel sounds. Let's look at the sounds of it and eat. So we make the sound in read, that is the long E sound, with our tongue very close to the top of our mouth. We make the sound in read with our tongue very close to the top of our mouth. It's almost like you're smiling when you say E. Try saying it. I'm sure you remember how the cameraman asks you to say cheese to get you showing your 32-carat diamond teeth. When we make the sound in rid, which is the short vowel sound, we don't look as much like we are smiling and our tongues are lower in our mouths. Try looking at your mouth in the mirror while making this sound so that you can compare where the tongue is for these two sounds. Some words. So for the long E sound, we have meat, sheep, and leek. So when I say the long vowel sound, I'm sure you can connect with me on this. What I'm really saying is that the sound is stretched. And the duration of a long vowel sound is more than is the duration for a short vowel sound. So when you say something like mit, the vowel sound lasts for a shorter duration than something like meat. And that's the difference between the short and the long vowel sound. Another example of a short vowel sound, ship. Now again, when you say sheep, its duration is much more. But when you say ship, it starts and ends quickly. And the third example of a short vowel sound, lick, as compared to leak. Alright, let's look at the sounds of head and hate. We make the sound in red with our mouth open wider than for E or E, and our tongues not as close to the top of our mouths. The sound in made or hate is actually a diphthong. Now, what do I mean by when I say diphthong? What I mean is that it's a combination of two vowel sounds. So when you say made, we have eh and e vowel sounds combined within this word. You can feel your tongue moving closer to the roof of your mouth when you say it. Let's look at a couple of examples for head sounds. Head, shepherd, leg, and met. Again, you can see that these are all short vowel sounds. Hate. Some examples: hate, shape, and lake. And hate, containing the double vowel sounds eh and e. Let's look at the sounds of hat and hot. We make the sound in rot with our mouth open the widest. Pretend that you're going to the doctor and saying ah. See how open your mouth is and how far back your tongue is. The sound in hat is made with your mouth open not as wide as the sound is not as far back in your throat. One of the best ways to get it right is by pretending that someone is choking you. The sound you will make is this hat vowel sound. Try it. Some hat sounds. Hat. Say it after me. Hat. Lack. Mat. Sap. If you practice reading these words aloud, you will get to master them sooner rather than later. Let's look at some hot sounds. And when I say hot sounds, I don't mean hot sounds with hot as an adjective. I just mean sounds which have the same vowel sound as in hot, as in the word hot. So hot, lock, mots, and sop. Let's look at the sounds of lute and could. We make the sound in lute, which contains the long oo sound, excuse me, with our mouths really rounded. Now, do you remember that song featuring Prabhu Deva and Kajol? Ooh, la la la. So in that song, in the word ooh, the same sound has been used, which is the oo sound. Or pretend that you're going to kiss someone. Your lips are really rounded, right? When you make the lute sound, your lips are extremely rounded. When you make the could sound, your lips are rounded in a relaxed way. Let's look at a couple of examples for lute sounds. Who'd. So very often you would say to people, who'd do this? Or who would think of that? Another word, pool or nuke. All these words have the oo sound. Let's look at some words containing the could sounds. Could sound. Hood, pull, look. All these words have the oo, the short oo vowel sound in them. Okay, let's look at the sounds of lute and hut. So we make the sound in hoot or lute with our lips really rounded. I don't know where the lips have disappeared from the slide, but never mind. So with our lips really rounded, we make the hoot sound or the long oo sound. We have already practiced singing the ooh baby baby song, or pretend that you're going to kiss someone. However, when we say the hut sound, or when we say hut, we open our mouths wider and relax our lips. The sound in hut is in the center of your mouth. Try to put your tongue in the center of your mouth. It is always a good idea to feel the positioning of your mouth while making sounds. Remember that for making any sound, you need your mouth to be in a particular position. And if you're mispronouncing a certain word, it means that you're not getting the sounds right. And if you're getting the sounds wrong, it means that you're not putting your mouth in the same position as they should be to create that sound. Let's look at some hoot sounds. Moot, luke, and hood. We've already practiced this one, so you should remember it. Let's look at some hut sounds. Mutt, luck, and hut. Okay, let's look at the sounds of mode and lute. Now the vowel sound in mode is called diphthong. This means it's actually a combo of two vowel sounds that mix together. As you say the sound, your mouth will get more closed and your lips will get more round. When you say mode, you have the schwa and the sound. So I'm not saying and sound because schwa is a different kind of sound altogether, and we'll learn about it in just a while. So at the end of this sound, mode, at the end of this word mode, you have the same sound which you'll be making as an and your lips should be just as round as they are when you say hoot. Mode. Let's look at some hode or mode sounds. Moat, hode, local, and soap. Let's look at some hoot sounds, and we've practiced a lot of these, haven't we? Mute, hewed, and luke. Okay, let's look at the sounds of fought and hot. So we discussed earlier that we make the sound in hot or the sound with our mouth open the widest. And to get it right, you can pretend that you're going to the doctor and saying ah. The sound in fought, well, it has the vowel sound aw, the same sound which you get when you say horse or remorse. So the sound in fought is made with your mouth open not as wide as the sound, more in the middle of your mouth. Try to say a very quick, light O sound. That is the sound in out. Don't worry if you are having problems with this sound. Many native English speakers do. New Yorkers pronounce the word ought much differently, and many people in the Midwest pronounce the words caught and caught exactly the same. I would personally recommend that you use the long aw sound, as in horse, when you say fought or ought, instead of saying coat or ought. So let's look at some fought sounds. Caught, ought, and sought. Let's look at some hot sounds, and yes, they are quite hot. Caught, hot, and sawed. Okay, now let's look at some sounds of let's look at the sounds of Roy, now, and light. Now remember, all these three vowel sounds are diphthongs. And once again, when I say diphthongs, I mean they are double vowel sounds. All of these contain a combination of two vowel sounds. This means that two vowel sounds mixed together while saying these words. Notice, when you say Roy, doesn't your mouth move from one sound to another? Oi, oi, Roy. Or when you say now, doesn't your mouth move from one position to another? Now, now, right? So what's happening is that you are enunciating two vowel sounds instead of one. And that's why these words have a double vowel sound. When you said hey, you can say the vowel sound for a long time without moving your mouth. Hey. Your mouth doesn't move. It just sticks to the eh bit. Hey. It's not like hi. When you say hi, your mouth begins with ah and then it moves towards E, so it becomes high. Get my point? Okay, let's look at some oi sounds. Reuters, boy. Some how sounds. Route, bout. Well, that's how the Americans pronounce it, at least. Route. In the standard English, it's pronounced as root. Let's look at some height sounds. So right, bite. Okay, great. Now finally, we're going to discuss the shortest sound in the English language, and that is the schwa. This is a very special sound, let me tell you. It has a special name to it, the schwa. It's symbolized as an inverted E when you look at its phonetic symbol, and it's a very interesting sound with some very interesting features. Let's have a look. So the schwa is like a really short vowel sound made in the center of your mouth. It's the shortest sound in the English language and needs a consonant or vowel sound to come before it to be pronounced. Most people confuse it with the sound, as in cup. But remember that it is a very short sound and you don't need to stress it too much, or you will end up saying things like chair instead of chair, or stare instead of stare, or rare instead of rare. A couple of examples for the schwa sounds. Explanation. So can you tell me where the schwa sound is in the word explanation? Yes, quite right. Right after pl. So it's planation. So the schwa is right after the l sound there. Emphasis. So again, right after the f sound, you have the schwa sound, emphasis. Recitation. So where is the f sound? That's right. Towards the end of this word, right after sh. Alright, so that's all folks. That was a crash course on vowel sounds as brief. As brief as you could have it. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, share, comment, and subscribe to this video, and please do make sure to comment if you have any questions concerning this. Do tweet me at all things Ashish. Connect with me on Twitter. Until next time, bye bye.